I think they've set a high price for Scott Laughton that if they get it, they'll pull the trigger, and if not, they're really happy to keep him. And I think outside of that, you know, if you're looking long-term view and plan of how this team should come together at the deadline, part of what they're thinking is we've way exceeded expectations, and in any normal year where we'd be trying to unload guys no matter what, we're in a position that we could keep them if we don't get exactly what we're looking for. Like, why damage our own chances, culture, team, what we've built if we're not going to be able to get something significant?
Yeah, they're in a position of power. What's that asking price for Lots? Is it a first round?
First round pick, yep. Yeah. And I think probably just plus something else.
Plus
I don't know what it is, but
yeah. So they are looking for first round. We kind of talked about that last week. I thought maybe because seems like a high commodity, like a lot of teams.
I think here's the tough part about Scott Laughton is I think everyone agrees that he's a really nice piece and nice player, and he does a lot of different things. For a lot of teams that are playoff teams, he brings a different element. The fact that he's an elite penalty killer, that part I think really stands out. But I think what people are looking at is this is a somewhat thin trade market. So you've got Jake Gensel, who's north of a point per game. You've got potentially some other guys that are out there, Jordan Eberle. Pick other guys who are higher scoring forwards, and you say, okay, we love what Scott Laughton is, but if we only have one first-round pick to trade, is it going to be for someone that may or may not impact your chances to win this year? And I know that he has term left on his contract, but from the teams that I've talked to, that's part of their thought process. Like, we'd love to have him, but because it is a high ask, we only have so limited assets to go around. If he's changing our Stanley Cup win chances by 1% or 2%, is that enough to justify the cost? Right. And I think a lot of teams are saying right now, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it makes sense. And then we're hearing Buffalo's maybe at the top of the list there too, which is not.
I think they've had a couple non-playoff teams poke around. I think Buffalo is one. I don't have it confirmed, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ottawa would be another. I know they've got a bunch of centers that they like, but I'm sure Claude Giroux is in their ear saying, like, hey, this is the type of guy that we'd like to add. And I keep listening to their GM, Steve Stais, who says repeatedly, 200-foot player. I want 200 feet players, and that is Scott Laughton.
That's it.
That is, for sure. Now, Frank, if
it seems like he doesn't want to leave, by the way.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's a really tough part, is like, he's been here a long time.
Yeah.
And wants to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played more games in a Flyers uniform than Eric Lindros, and pick some other names that have been
it's pretty wild.
Around a long time. He's been here a while.
Crazy.
Yeah. And he's kind of come into his own and developed into such a leader, and just established such a niche for himself.
Yeah, and it's like Frank said, like that year down, and we've talked about
I was actually going to ask you about that. Yeah,
how much changed his career?
I know, having been around the team for a while at that point, he had played 100 and some NHL games, including a full season the year before. What was the thought process to send him back to Lehigh Valley?
It was to get as many minutes, quality minutes, as he could down there. Play every situation, just play, get confidence, and come back up and hopefully find his role and find his game. And I'll say, like, he came down with an amazing attitude. I mean, he was a leader. He came down, played every situation, owned it, and obviously went back up and found his way since then. But I think it was probably, to what you were saying earlier, it was the best thing that ever happened to him was coming down. But he couldn't have developed the way he has without the proper attitude. He just owned his situation. But
not a lot of guys would do that.
No, it's tough because he had a first round. I mean, obviously a first round, and you played almost 2 years right before that.
So it's first round pick, but it's also, when he was leaving junior, he had a 40-goal season and 87 points.
Right.
And when you then get the first-round pick tag, I think you feel like you need to come in and be someone that produces at a high level offensively in the NHL, where the truth is a lot of those guys that come in that can't do it, their career ends in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years because they can't adapt to playing a different role than what they thought they would be or what they thought expectations were. And that, it seems like that year changed everything for him.
It did.
It gave him 10 years. He went down for one, and it gave him 10 more.
Yeah, 100%. And even though he was playing power play situations, really the grunt of it was like just owning the defensive zone, face-offs, just being really finding that workhorse mentality. He was already a workhorse, but just really being accepting of the small details in that role. And then he landed up scoring and obviously just playing in larger roles on the team. But I think it was like that 200-foot game that he really took pride in, and he still, to this day, still owns, right? I mean, that's the crux of his game. So
your videos when you get him and scare him,
yeah,
he's such an easy target.
I've got him a bunch of times, but last year he was here on deadline day and baller. Oh,
that was a guy. I saw that. The only problem is you quoted the wrong insider.
Yeah, we did. That's why he didn't take it serious.
That's why he didn't take it serious. If he knew it was Frank, he would have. He would have
started texting his wife, and
he would have. That's a great call.